Alright, let's get this show on the road. We're carrying... Crap, what are we carrying? We're carrying meat from Phoenix to Hallbrook, Arizona. And it's the Food Services of America, which I know is a real business, but I thought it was like a subdivision of a different business. This looks strange. I've never really seen a semi with doubles. I don't think I've never seen a real semi with doubles before. Because I don't think doubles are really that effective where I live. I think the 53 footers are just sufficient, because where I live, the highway is the only place you can go from Montana to Washington, I think. I don't think there's any... I don't know. It's a very popular road for semi-traffic, and the road gets beaten up a lot. So it's where was I going with that? Oh no, this isn't the place where I think it is it? If this is the place where I'm thinking of, I hate this road so much. Is it the super windy? Yep, this is the super windy one. How are we doing on fuel? We're doing great on fuel. Okay. Oh, right. Sorry about that. Oh, thank God. This isn't the road I was thinking of. The road I'm thinking of is super windy, and I believe it's in Arizona, which is the state that I'm in at the moment. In game, not in real life. What is that? Is that just a barn? Why would you just have a barn on the side of the highway? That seems like it would make the animals kind of paranoid. At least, to me, it would seem that way. Now, I don't know what I'm saying. I haven't for the past 2 hours that I've been recording. I recorded 3 episodes of Need for Speed Payback, and I'm just now recording some American Truck, obviously. The reason I'm extremely tired, mentally and physically. I started my job yesterday. I'm a busser, and it was my training day. And what? I have to think longer than usual before I say something, because my brain is so exhausted. Plus, it didn't help that I had an extremely strange dream last night. I'm also on my 3rd cup of coffee. This is not a good time to be recording. I should be, just relaxing, trying to get some rest. But I don't want to take a nap, because if I take a nap, I'm trying to fall asleep on the road. If I take a nap, then I can't sleep at night. Unless I'm sick. If I'm sick, then I can take naps all day long and still sleep at night. Because my body knows that I'm ill, and then I need to get as much rest as possible for me to heal. But it doesn't know that I'm exhausted. Well, it does, but it doesn't know that it's kind of the same principle where I should get as much rest as possible. I mean, I got roughly 11 hours of sleep last night, so I shouldn't be extremely exhausted, but I am, because there's a lot to take in when you're a busser. You have to do a lot of things in a particular way, and I was trained with someone who I knew, which was nice. I think it's when you do something with someone you know, or at least someone you know who you don't dislike, it makes the experience that much better. So I don't think I would have had such a nice time yesterday if it was with someone training me who I didn't know. But there was so much to do, and you can't sit down when you're a busser unless you take a break. And plus, I didn't want to do that because it was my first day, it was my training day. I made $6 in tips as well, which is pretty good considering the tips were split between a waitress, my trainer, and me. So that's pretty good. But, what was I gonna say? Oh, you can't sit down unless you're on your break, and you have to stand. I stood for 4.5 hours. The walking, you know, from table to table and stuff like that. Well, I didn't walk from table to table checking on people or anything because I'm a busser, not a waiter. Walking and cleaning and setting up tables and stuff like that, that wasn't that bad. But it was a very slow day yesterday, and the only time that it was, you know, busy was around 1 o'clock when there was 2 huge groups. There was one out in the patio and one just inside. There was 7 people for one, and I believe 9 or 10 people for the other. Do I need to get off here? No, I stay on. And it was kind of hectic cleaning up after them because I'm not good with balancing trays yet. So it didn't go as well as I would have liked it for the traying. But other than that, it was fun, man. I learned how to roll silverware. Oh, I wasn't finished. I stood for 4.5 hours because it was very slow, and you can't sit. I've repeated that enough times. Did I mention you can't sit? And the max I stand in a day, like for just minutes on end, is probably like 15 to 20 minutes, and then I walk. I stand for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I walk, versus like 15 minutes just standing there, because it wasn't busy at all. I know I already said that, but I don't know what I've said or not said. Have I said that I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee? I usually only drink 2 cups of coffee in a day. Not usually. I usually only drink 1, but the max I drink is like 2 cups. I'm trying to drink another one to wake me up. I tried doing some pull-ups and some sit-ups to try and get some energy into me. I could barely do those. Like, I'm legitimately exhausted. And I woke up at 7 thinking that my boss was standing next to my bed telling me to get up and go to work. I don't work today. I start my actual shift on Monday. I don't know why I thought that was happening, but I woke up at 7:29 and I was extremely tired, like I usually am when I first wake up, unless I wake up late, like in the summer. If someone wakes me up and I don't get the exact amount of sleep that I should get, then I'm very tired when I first wake up. But I've never been that tired, I don't think. I've never worked like that. Like, usually when I babysit, I sit down, or I run around or lay down and play, Monster, where they can climb on me. And I'm not used to standing like that, and it'll probably take me a while to get used to that. But it's just, I don't know. Like, today has been weird for me because of that dream just screwed me up. Because yesterday, my dog ran into the woods chasing after the deer. Chasing after a deer. It jumped the fence, and I ran after it, but it was way too freaking fast for me. Frick! Oh my god! That is not enough time. Good god, that was not enough warning at all. Jesus Christ, are you trying to kill people? That Crown Victoria should not have slowed down. Because I slammed on the brakes trying not to run into the back of that bus. And I almost pitted that thing. Good God. That would have sucked in real life as well. Because you would have had to stop for insurance. What the frick? Why are those holographic? Oh God. What are those supposed to be there? Anyway, I had a dream last night that my dog ran off into the woods again, and I chased after it again. And you know how usually dreams are black and white, but you don't realize that? This dream was in color. Well, maybe your dreams are in color. I don't know how people's dreams work, but mine are usually in black and white, but I don't realize that because I think my dreams are real life, but they obviously aren't. But this one was in color, and it made it that much more realistic. I ran after my dog, and I found the deer was chasing it. It stopped, and Nika, which is the dog who ran after it, she was kind of like prowling after it, and I grabbed her by the collar and I dragged her back, like I did yesterday, because we have an issue with her jumping over the fence and running off, but not away, because there's the lady who used to own her works in the garden across the street. Good luck that is, huh? And, frick, I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to grab my coffee, and I clicked my controller. Oh, God, I cannot remember what I was trying to say. Oh, and we've been trying to get her to, you know, calm down with her jumping over the fence and all, but I dragged her back yesterday, which was... It probably wasn't the best thing I could have done, but I was very angry at her, because she's... I don't know how to explain it. She is very wild when it comes to deer. I know she would not have stopped if that deer would have, you know, left her sight. So I just wanted to make sure that she knew she should not have done that. And plus, she was very running around-ish. That doesn't make any sense. She was very wild while I was trying to grab her and take her back. So I had to be very tough with her, trying to get her back into the fence. But back to the dream, there was a moose that I saw in the... And this is in my backyard. This isn't anywhere else. And it was my neighbor's backyard. And it looked so real for whatever reason. I don't know why this dream happened. Usually dreams don't happen to, you know, something that just happened to you, or mine don't anyway. And this one, it was literally the night after that happened. Like, it happened in the same day. And there was a bear that came out of the forest. And I grabbed Nika, and I ran with her. I let her go, and she jumped over the fence. I jumped over the fence. The bear started coming after me, and I felt actual fear. I've never felt fear in a dream before, but it was a huge black bear. It was like the size of a grizzly bear, but it was a black bear. And black bears are more aggressive than grizzly bears. But the bear jumped over the fence, and it was in my yard. So I jumped into the pool. I did like a front flip. I grabbed the bars and I flipped myself over into the pool, and Nika ran and jumped over the fence. So I ran through the pool, jumped over it again, like did the same thing where I put my hands up on the bars and flipped myself over out of it. And then the bear jumped in the pool. I jumped over the fence, ran over to my neighbor's. I had Nika run over. I looked back. I saw the bear in the pool struggling to get out. I could see its beady little eyes, which were red. And I thought that it had rabies. It didn't have any foaming out of the mouth, but that doesn't really matter because it was a dream. And the bear got itself out of the pool. It jumped over the fence, jumped over my neighbor's fence. I knocked on the door. I went inside, and my neighbor has a trailer home. I don't live in a trailer home, and it's not a trailer court or anything. He just has a trailer home that was, I believe, recently built. Or no, his house is about as old as this one, and this one was built in the 70s. I think his was early 80s. I think this was built in 1973. I don't know, it was built in the 70s, I'm not sure when it was built. And his house wasn't a trailer, his house wasn't a trailer home at that point. It was a double-story house that had, it had 2 stories, but it had, on the second story, it had another staircase that went up into a balcony. But anyways, I ran into the house. I told my neighbor to get a gun, and he looked at me like, what are you talking about? And then I said, get a big gun. So he went and got a .22 rifle that shot rainbow pellets. Like, they aren't pellets, they're like mini bullets, but they're called pellets, even though they're not. And he only had about 7, and they were super small as well. So I tried to shut the door and lock the deadbolt lock. Like, there's a lock on the door handle, and then there's a lock on the deadbolt. And for some reason, the lock was on the outside of the door. I don't know why. And by the time I was trying to lock the door, the bear was already on the porch. So I shut the door, I moved a buffet, which it wasn't like a Golden Corral buffet, it was a wooden, like, desk buffet. And I ran up the stairs, or no, I sat by the window, I looked out of the window, and I was in the place where I used to live, the trailer court. I was there looking over, like, the house was overlooking my neighbor's house. Is that a truck? Oh, it's a bus. Whoops. I didn't know if I was moving or not. And the bear started to push open the door. I put a pellet inside of the gun chamber, which it was very small, and it wasn't rainbow colored, it was a white cream pellet, or white cream color pellet. And I put it in the gun. It got the door open. I shot it in its arm. It growled. I ran up the stairs. I put another one in the chamber, and I shot it again in the skull, but I could see where it hit. Like, I got it right above its left eye, but it didn't puncture it or penetrate the skull, which is how that would have worked in real life, or maybe that's just for grizzly bears, I'm not sure. Anyways, I loaded up the last pellet that I had, and I tried to shoot it again, but it didn't work, so I ran up the stairs more onto the balcony, and Nico was up on the balcony, and my neighbor was up on the balcony, and the bear was starting to crawl up the stairs. I pushed there was a bookshelf that was on the staircase. Really, you're not going to do that. Anyways. And it fell down the stairs. Good work. Damage penalty. That wasn't my fault, though. I mean, it was, but it shouldn't have been. And I shot the bear in where I thought its heart was. And it killed it because it was climbing up the stairs, and Nico was growling at it, so I shot it. It did a very dramatic, like, it stood up on its hind legs, and then it fell back down the stairs, and it broke through the wall and fell out onto the porch again. And then I gave Ken his gun back, and then I woke up. So that exhausted me even more than I was already exhausted with before. And I have no idea what I just said in the past 20 minutes. I'm gonna go... I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I just drank half a cup of coffee. I'm extremely hot now. It's about 84 degrees outside, and it's not even 12 o'clock. Is it 12 o'clock? I don't know what time it is. So I can't take